Hello friends, today we will discuss about the different concepts of MongoDB. So first let us see what is MongoDB. MongoDB MongoDB is a NoSQL database that that meaning it does not store data in rows and columns and tables. It uses clusters and collections to store data. A single record in the database collection is stored as a document. So you can see, I will just, this is our relational, this is our SQL based databases, SQL based and NoSQL. So what is the difference here? See, in SQL there is a table. Inside the table there are rows and columns. So here in NoSQL there are no tables, there are collections. In collections the rows, individual rows are called documents, and each document has a unique, each document in a collection, in all the collections, so sorry, in a collection contain a unique identifier by the name underscore ID. Wait a minute. So let us revise the concepts. I'm just saving it at basics. You see, MongoDB is a NoSQL database, so it does not store data in rows and columns and tables. It uses clusters and collections to store data. And one more thing, it has cloud provisioning. So it can store the data on the MongoDB cloud server. So now we are in the difference between SQL based and NoSQL. So table is mapped to collections. So collections are nothing but a set of documents. Like table is a set of rows, collection is a set of documents. But the thing is that each document in a collection has a unique identifier by the name underscore ID, and the type of that, the data type of underscore ID is object ID. Object ID is the data ID name. So object ID is the type of the ID. The types supported are the types support supported are, okay. First is the int 32, second is the int 64, then float, then binary, then blob, then varchar accepts one parameter, it is the size, char also has a size, and boolean. So these types are supported in many more types. These are the basic I'm just going to. There are a lot more types supported in this. Then Let us see what is the meaning of this. It's a 32-bit integer. It is a 64-bit integer. Then it is decimal. Then binary is stream of bytes. Stream of bytes. Then blob is a binary large object. It stands for binary large object. It is used to store images, videos, and varchar is for strings of variable length. Then char is for strings of same length. And boolean is has two values, just true is it is true or false. So this is about the data types. Now we will go to the this file. Yeah. So what is the syntax of a MongoDB document? So here you can see I've already written this. The data types supported are strings, integers, and all. So this is a MongoDB documents always start with a open curly brace and it ends with a closed curly brace. Suppose I want to create a document of name and age. I will first open the brace, then I will type name without the inverted comma since this is an object. So name is Gaurav, comma age is 30 and a trailing comma is allowed in MongoDB. So you can see here I have created a MongoDB document. So this document contains a underscore ID which will be implicitly generated. So let me write there uh, identifier or underscore ID will be automatically generated and stored with the result. So, so this is a main document. So now let us see what is a collection. Collection is a table, is not a table, it is a collection of documents. So it is like as table is a collection of rows, then you can say that a collection is a set of documents which is unique. So now how to uh, create a database. So 1 minute. So can now start with MongoDB. I already opened. I am just logging out from here. So once I log out, I will again go to mongodb.com. So I will note down the steps once more. First visit mongodb.com. So first step is done. The second step is logging in. So here I have already registered. For those people who are not registered, first please register to the website and then sign in. I have already registered, so I am signing it for free. I'm clicking on sign in. So see, it is redirected to its subdomain account.mongodb.com. So it is redirecting to its subdomain. account dot mongodb.com. So that is the account. So now I will log into this account. This is my email address, and next I have to write my password. So I am now logged in. So here you will see the URL. This is what this first is V2. V2 stands for, I will just copy this. So this, so you can see this HTTPS. So it is going over SSL, and cloud.mongodb.com is the MongoDB's cloud. MongoDB has cloud in many locations across the world. Like in, it has in Mumbai, it has in San Francisco, it has in Europe, and many other locations are there. So each location is identified by a string in the, of the form AP, South, and one. So AP stands for access point. Access point. South stands for northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere. So it is south. And then one means the number of the serial number of the access point. So for Mumbai, it is AP slash south slash one. So now clusters. A person who has an account with AWS can have multiple clusters, but since I'm using it for testing, I have only one cluster because that cluster is of type MO sandbox. So what is sandbox? Sandbox is a collection of servers in which there is a primary node and many secondary nodes. So in our case, we have one primary server and two secondary servers. So they have shared RAM of 512 MB. So they whatever suppose secondary server number one has written to the document post, then it will be it will be replicated first to the primary server, and then that primary server will send the return data to the remaining secondary server. So that is called sandboxing, and it will. But there is many other restrictions here to avoid denial of service attacks. Maximum number of connections that are allowed is 100, and number of collections, that is tables, is 500. So this is about our sandbox, and the name is cluster 0. So this is the name which defines your cluster. Then region is AP access point south 1, that is Mumbai. So now it is a replica cluster. So in this all the data is shared and changes to the shared data are broadcasted to every other server. First to primary server and from primary server to all the other secondary servers. So in our case we have only two secondary servers and the RAM shared is 512 MB. So what's the I will just explain you that suppose secondary server has returned to the document post. Then it will replicate first to the primary server and then it will the primary server send it the return to the secondary server. And to avoid denial of service attacks, maximum number of connections that are allowed is 100 and number of connections is 500 in total. So this is I will forward the version. Version is 6.0.6 and the cloud service type is Amazon Web Services. Actually, it can be both Google Cloud and Windows Azure. Windows Azure, but I prefer AWS. So I use AWS. Uh, yeah, we just comment this part. So now, yeah, so this is our um, replica cluster, three-way replica, three-way replica it is. Now, yeah, we come back again. We just save this details.txt. So now we are ready with our UI. So now what I've already done is I have come to the clusters. So after logging in, I'm related to the clusters, and you can see here the format. Uh, this is the line which we are looking at. So it was on the cloud subdomain .mongodb.com, then version, then the you can say identifier, a hash, then the clusters. So now I have my you can say database name is Gaurav. So now wait a minute, just a second. So in Gaurav I will browse the collections. So first I will delete whatever. So now I have created already a student table and it is a cluster index. So what is a cluster index? When the search query runs, the search query searches for the next possible best way to find other data. So if the data is clustered, so it is grouped together. And clustered on an index. So suppose the index is ID and my ID is 44. Then the next I will go to ID 45, then it will go to 46. So if the data which is related is clustered, the id is in proximity, then suppose there is a b c and the id is a b c for three people. So first it will go to a, then it will find that the next most probable value will be b, so it will go to b. So it will reduce the number of io and it will reduce the number of read losses. It will correctly identify the pattern. So now I created a database. Very simple it is. I will read it and I will drop this database. We will create a new database. This is my cluster, and in that cluster, I will create a new database. So I will. You can see here that there are overview. So in this overview, every uh, um, MongoDB server has a .NET extension. So you can see here the port number for each cluster server is 27017, and for clusters the domain name is .NET. Domain name extension, sorry, is .NET and not .com. So that two things you should remember. So you can see here, this is our region. So you can see this is a replica set, this is a sandbox. Then yeah, now we will create a table, database. So we will go to databases, then we will go to create. No, this is cluster. We will just no, I've created. It's not going. And then yeah, so this is in collections we have to go. So in collections, I will just add my own data. So it will ask you for the database name. So just remember it. First, open the collection tab from the URL of the URL of this. Actually, in detail it is written as this. In this, if you click on this URL of this, then you can see a URL of this https cloud.mongodb.com and clusters. From the first, open the collections tab. The collections tab will be there. So these collections that I have created, and there are two options. There is load a sample database and add my own data. So I will add my own data. If you can work with load a sample database, that you can work. So now I'm adding my own data. See, again I'm saying create a cluster, name the cluster, go in the clusters, go in this URL, as you can see URL, and after going to this URL, go to collections, and then click on add my data. So database name is, suppose my database name is Gaurav, and the collection name is um, you can say hobbies, and then I will select cluster index collection, because I, cluster index collection means I am using many hobbies in close proximity. So I will use cluster index collection. So index is a underscore ID, and now I'm creating it. Operation is in progress. You can see here the database has been created. So Gaurav is the name of the first, and hobbies. Gaurav is the name of the database, and hobbies is the name of the table. So now database name is equal to Gaurav. Database name is equal to Gaurav and collection name is equal to hobbies and indexing is clustering index. So now you can see the storage size. Yeah, so now we will see the indexes. See, there are two indexes. There are two indexes. So now we are in find. So now I'm going to this is my collection. So I am going to insert the documents, list of documents in this collection. So now I have just one field. So I will click on this plus add field name. Oh, sorry, not name. Golf. So it is insert. So now name is golf. So now again I will create one more row. So insert document and that and in that I will write again a name that will be. You see I have created two documents and see this is three last three digits are different. See this object ID. So this is the object ID of the first row. Wait a second. Yeah, so this so I have pasted this and now I'm copying this and I've pasted this. So you can see here every digit is same, only the last digit is different. So it is stored in contiguous memory location and this is called clustering index. Means you whatever is the ID is used as a method of storing memory in proximity. So now I have created 12. Now I will just write a query. So syntax is field name and colon and this is golf. So it will apply and only one result has come as so golf. So this is a where clause in SQL. Now you can see indexes. So so this was about our database, uh, then table and collections, then clustered and then documents. So we will do using a command line. So now we will yeah we will just go to the database. So I will click on browse collections. So now we'll click on agree. Yes. So now I am just going to wait a minute. I am going to search indexes. Yes. So now in I will just write name 0 and apply. It will only output the ID. It will not output the name because name I put as 0. So if I put name as 1, I apply, you can see name has come. So this is called projections, selection of columns. And now if I want to assign a name and -1, so in descending order. So Mina will come first, swimming will come first, and golf will come next. So this is short. So how to implement this in you can say filters. So I want suppose name swimming. You see only swimming has come. Because now if you want to uh, insert document with suppose I want age and this is suppose age is in 32. So I'm going to age, I am going to 20 and marks will be इथे ना ना 100. This will be inserting the document. So name and I will apply and this will swimming, golf and applying. So I want to view all the documents. I want to view all the documents. I clear all the fields. So this will be okay. Install the command line version of MongoDB. To use the command line version, you have to install and update the Atlas command line interface. So when I'm Atlas command line interface, in that I want to install using the app repository. App repository everyone. So I first install this. You can see. So I will just go to the documentation. Wait a minute. Just go to documentation. Just a second. 10 minutes. So here you can see these are the steps. First, you need to install the GNU PG program. So now I'm just copying the notes. This is the page. So it is already there. I don't need to review this. So now I'm going again back to Chrome. These I am following these steps just to gain the certificate from the MongoDB server. I will just copy this in the command line. I will paste this. So I have got an OK message here. You can see it's an OK message. After that, I will update the repository manager. This is the update function. So sorry, before that, computer has this. Um, Now it is updating. The repository is now updating, and now I can finally use this.